Okay, guys, so let's talk more about Carnival Stock, ticker symbol CCL. So I made a video exactly 12 days ago on this stock where it was trading at around $8. And I said that I thought it was a great short-term trade because even though I don't think that the cruise stocks are the best long-term investments, obviously I would prefer tech stocks, software stocks, things of that nature. I thought that it was an interesting short-term trade and maybe intermediate hold because I felt like the stocks were so sold off. So as I recorded that video, the stock price was around. Okay, yes, when I recorded that video, Carnival stock was trading at around $8. So now it is up. It is up as I'm recording this video. It's up 5% today, well over $12. So if you picked up shares at around $8, you already have a nice 50% return. So now let's talk more about Carnival Cruise stock because there's been a lot of new articles and a lot of new information surrounding that says that the company might be a little bit better off than people are letting it out to be. So I just want to show you guys this one article. Okay, so this article was posted by Investor Place. It says Carnival Cruise stock may not be torpedoed after all. Recent surveys suggest that cruise demand may not be as light as feared. So basically, it talks a lot about what's been happening, how the cruise lines have been forced to basically shut down everything due to the CDC extending the no sail order. So basically, Carnival Cruise will definitely be out of business up until June 26, 2020 at the earliest. We don't know whether that's going to be extended or not, but for now we know that Carnival will not be earning any revenue for a while. But what I want to show you guys is some interesting surveys that have come out, and this is basically says that the cruise industry might pick up a lot faster than people let out to be. So it says if recent surveys are any indication, there may be real pent-up demand. In a report in the LA Times, the travel site cruisecompete.com said they were seeing a 40% increase in 2021 cruise bookings compared to 2019. So it also says the Times also reported that according to Swiss bank UBS, cruise bookings are up 9% in the past month on a year-over-year basis, and a significant number of those customers were booking new cruises, not just scheduling a previously booked cruise. 76% who had their cruise canceled in 2020 accepted credit towards a future cruise rather than take a refund. So guys, I think that kind of dispels a lot of the negativity that's been people have been surrounding the internet with and things like that, saying, oh, well, they'll never get on a cruise again or they won't get on a cruise until 2022. But it seems like that is actually false. What it looks like is that people are more anxious than ever to ride a cruise because when something's been taken away, there's that type of scarcity that develops, and now it's kind of seen as people would love to take a cruise even if they've maybe never taken one for the first time because you're not able to do it right now. So guys, this is some interesting news, and based on this has kind of changed my opinion on cruise stocks in general. I'd still prefer to invest in test stocks and things like that, but I can still understand some of you guys out there are holding position. So now I want to talk about another article that talks a bit more about how the balance sheet is a lot better than people are letting out to be. So as it mentions, basically this article is posted on thefool.com. It mentions many of the same things. So let's get into the way that Carnival raised cash. So as I mentioned earlier, that was the headline that made news, and that's what I posted in my first video about how this Saudi investment fund had simply invested a lot of money into Carnival Cruise stock, and they were part of that 6.62.5 million shares issued at $8. But some other things that Carnival has done is they've also raised $4 billion in senior notes due in 2023 and another $1.5 billion in notes due in 2023. So even though they're taking on a lot of debt, that debt isn't due for around 3 years now. And obviously the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia would not be investing in this company if they thought they were going to go under and weren't able to pay off that debt in the future. And also, this was some other excellent information. It says Carnival director Randall Weisenberger also stepped up buying big, $10 million of Carnival stock as well. So when an insider that knows the company very well is putting up that much money, that is an even stronger bullish signal than the private investment fund of Saudi Arabia buying it. And the fact that Carnival stock had been basically selling about 80% off it's high. It just seems like the stock was way too cheap. So of course it talks a bit about how much money it has. It says after the raise, Carnival should have 7.9 billion in cash, 18.9 billion in debt. And it talks about how the shares outstanding will rise to almost 1 billion. But the good thing about cruises is that they were extremely profitable as well. So as you can see here, in the fiscal year 2019, it says Carnival made 3.28 billion in operating income, and after that about 2.99 billion in net income. So what he does, he breaks it down some more, and he talks about how basically it'll adjust and reduce that earnings per share a lot because more shares have been issued and things like that. So the stock has been diluted. But even if Carnival stock is earning $2.61, that's far away from bankruptcy. So even though Carnival Cruise Line is not eligible for the stimulus package and things like that, earning $2.61 a share would basically have the PE ratio a bit higher because, as you can see, the PE ratio has been declining, so it looks like shares are undervalued. But like I said, guys, this stock is beaten down a lot off of its all-time highs, and that's one of the reasons why people are coming in and they're so attracted to it. They definitely think that there's a lot of value to be picked up here. So if we can take a look, I want to talk more about how far the stock has climbed down. If you guys missed, I talked a lot more about this in my earlier video, so check that out. So the stock is basically fallen off of a cliff, and now it's sitting at around $12. So guys, if you think you didn't get in at $8, that's okay, because I still think there's a lot of opportunity, and the fact that I saw cruise demand was up a ton makes me a lot more interested in this stock than I was perhaps 12 days ago. I think 12 days ago for me it was just a trade, but with all that extra demand and 3 years to pay off those credit lines, I think the stock is grossly undervalued. So I'm extremely bullish on Carnival Cruise stock now. I think that demand, it wasn't for me, it wasn't the financing, it was the demand. Because if people aren't afraid to take cruises and they're seeing an increase in future bookings, that might bring a lot of attention to cruises for people like me who haven't been on a cruise in decades. Perhaps that'll bring in some new interest. There's kind of a way for them to get some marketing out there, whereas in the past, me, I travel quite a bit, and taking a cruise wasn't really on my radar. So could be some positive things that happened from this whole situation. So guys, I think that stock looks like it's even double bottomed here. So that's another extremely bullish sign, and the stock is up. Who knows, if it breaks out of this short-term resistance, we could be headed towards $15 to $18. I think with the release of the stimulus checks and things like that. The video I posted, I just posted another video as well talking about Gilead coming out with remdesivir, a potential drug to treat coronavirus. I think that there's a lot more renewed optimism than there was last month. So that's it, guys, what I think about Carnival stock. Let me know what you guys are doing with it. If you bought it at $8, congratulations. You're already basically up 50%. So are you guys buying or are you selling? What are you going to do? I'm thinking about getting into call options with this one and potentially taking a position, but I might just wait until next week and see where the price action goes. And if we head to 13, I might just have to jump in. So that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. For me, Carnival stock is a much stronger buy now. As long as people are willing to get on cruise ships after this pandemic passes, I think they'll bounce back in no time. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post videos on stocks, on cruise stocks and things like that every day. So just stay subscribed to get future updates. And until next time, guys.